3, 2. We've got ignition. 1. We've got RIP takeoff. I have no idea what this thing's doing here, but we've got RIP takeoff. Welcome to another edition of Mouthpiece Included, where we discuss politics. That's sports and politics. We'll start in 3 minutes. Where are the fudge packers? If you're a fudge packer and you got a mouthpiece in your helmet, you're not some sort of, I don't know, those words I don't want to use on YouTube. Pull up. Where are the so-called Bears fans? Chicago and Green Bay. Neither town is a fair weather town. So pull up. Let's talk about it. Please take this time, these 2-3 minutes, to like, share, subscribe as we get everything going here out there.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Off season specifically, what did you work on to try to fix those things you want to get better?
I worked on a lot of things, the stuff that I need to work on. So, yeah.
You watched the quarterback show on Netflix?
I did.
What'd you think of it? And then obviously you were part of that a show like that when you were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to come to you and ask you to do it as a pro, would you be open to it?
Yeah, I watched it. It was kind of cool, seeing everybody's different backgrounds and kind of see how they prepared. So, just
DJ, in the summer, or I guess in the off-season portion, do you do any specific speed training or anything, outside of just working with the quarterback?
No, I'm just relaxing, being a dad. When he called, I come. Whenever Justin called, I went. And other than that, I was with my kids and my fiance. How do I like to relax? Just watching movies and eating popcorn, being a regular person. There ain't really nothing to it outside of football with me.
I was very, very angry because I was learning about the history of what happened to us, and that's what Roots did to me. It brought a lot of those feelings out of me, and I became very disturbed by it, and I became very angry, and I started to retaliate in school. And it took my mother to come to me and tell me it's a history, it's something that you should never forget, but you can rise above it and make an impact and make a change and make people aware of the pain that we have endured. But at first I was very disturbed by it, and I retaliated in some ways, violently. We used to go to other pools, and he would take me, and as soon as I get in the pool, they would get out of the pool. You don't forget your heritage, but you move forward in trying to make a better life for everyone, and that you always want to be viewed as a person. Reach back and pull someone with you.
It looks like a white people attacking a black man. I thought that, I felt that, I felt that was the case, what everybody's thinking. But, I don't know the hearts of those men. I have no idea what's in their heart.
But you certainly weren't going out there to help them, were you?
He's the agitator. But, we make fun of that on this show. We don't know what's in these people's hearts. They don't know what's in each other's heart. That was a big catchphrase, late 90s. Did you see the sister's face when he said it, too?
But, I don't know the hearts of those men. I have no idea what's in their hearts.
Come on, Cooter. She's like, come on, Cooter.
Cooter.
It was just good old Southern Hatfields versus the McCoys. The coloreds against the whites of the town. Shipboat Captain Cooter is Booger of the Week. You're on the PA, and everybody else on the boat like, man, they're down there kicking skeeters.
I asked everybody who they thought was going to win the NFC North. Look at the picture under Sal Paolantonio's name. He's going with
a team that is known as
the Bears.
The Bears. Why?
I am going with the Chicago Bears because I like what their new general manager's done in terms of their front seven. Their front seven is going to be a far more active front seven on defense. I like the way Justin Fields has really developed as a dual threat quarterback who can win from the pocket. But when he is running, he's a really scary quarterback running outside the numbers. He is fearless.
Tough,
he is tough.
violent.
And I think he is in the MVP conversation. The Bears have a good foundation
Savage
in
quarterback.
place.
You know what? I want to ride with my man Sal. Cindy, change my pick. Give me the Bears. The Bears.
We're going to take the North and never
You ain't black if you ain't a Bears fan.
Who are the guys that are the best in the world and make the rest of the team look like a gaggle of girls?
Okay, I'm in my local Ralph's, and this happened.
I don't go to church, and I know God understands. I can
Man, why do they keep the honey around?
Bears.
Excuse me, you know where the honey is?
Who are the guys that are the best
Please
in
like,
the
share,
world
subscribe.
and
Starting in
make the
30
rest of
seconds.
the team look like
Oh,
a gaggle of
cheese
girls?
Al. Who wants cheese head?
I don't go to church, and I know God understands. I can stay on my couch because God is a fan of the Bears. Who are the guys that are the best in the world and make the rest of the team look
The
like a
Bears.
gaggle of girls? The Bears. I don't go to church, and I know God understands. I can stay
God
on
is a
my
fan
couch
of the
because God
Bears.
is a fan of the Bears.
FGB,
Who are
let's be
the
clear.
guys that are the best in the
FGB.
world and make the rest of the
FGB.
team look like a
Bring a towel. When you get out of the water, you need to dry off right away to avoid catching a cold. That's why Tally says,
Don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. Well, you can mess around and get all wet. Mouthpiece included. This is Bear Down week, baby. Packers week. Let's get it in. I tell you guys something. If you're not a Bears or a Packers fan, you're not privy. And you're welcome to stay aboard if there's any, Lions fans out there. We'd really hate to hear from you. We don't feel your pain. All right. We don't respect you, but this isn't about the Lions or the Vikings or anything of that nature. Today, it's all about, as we've mentioned, our Chicago Bears. Let's get it going. Mouthpiece included, baby. Silver Blacks are back. Welcome to Mouthpiece Included, where we're going to go ahead and talk politics. It's a fusion of sports and politics. Today, we're going to unpack the science. Science, Mr. Scientist. That's right. We're going to unpack the science of FGB. Bear down. Unpack. Plus, hot weekly political topics. Pull up. I haven't put the link in the chat yet. My bad. But pull up, and the link will be pinned in the chat. Most Ricky Tick. So my bad on that. And we'd love to hear from you today. Today we're unpacking the Chicago Bears Green Bay Packers rivalry. One of the most storied and heated rivalries in all of sports. Not just pro sports, not just football. These two foundational squads have been playing one another since 1921. And the rivalry has grown stronger over the years. The Bears Packers have met 206 times, with the Pack holding I apologize. The Bears and Fudge Packers have met 206 times, with the Fudge Packers holding a slight lead in the series, 105-95 versus 6 ties. They've also met twice in the NFL playoffs, with each team winning once. This rivalry has been known for its physical play and intense competition out There have been many memorable moments in the rivalry. TATN. They get me every time. Like, really? Yeah, all right. There have been many memorable moments in the rivalry in sub-zero temperatures. The Bears and Fudge Packers are two of the most popular teams in the NFL, and the rivalry is one of the most anticipated games of the season for fans from both cities. We look to Fudge Pack, the history of the rivalry. Today we're going to break down our most memorable games that we have watched, major moments in this rivalry, the players who've been most important in this rivalry, and those fans, those Chicago Bear meatheads, and those godforsaken cheeseheads. Lots of passion in this rivalry, but respect. And then, of course, we're going to get into what we think the future of this whole thing looks like now that Smug Rogers is cut and run and ran to the entire different conference because he didn't want to take his bear medicine. Finally, we're going to give these takes on hot weekly topics. And, of course, we picked a major booger of the week for you. And I want to leave you with this, FGB. So stand down, stand back, stand by, bear down, or pull up. But if you do pull up, don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. All right, I'm going to put this link in the chat shortly. Let's get our resident co-host in the building. Ace is the place for the helpful hardware man.
TATN.
Jackie Robinson's finest in the building. Bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down.
It's Hacker Week. Bear down. What's going on, boo?
Hey man, you know, another day above ground. I'm still casted. The director is our Father who art in heaven. That's the casting director and the writer, producer. And on this earth stage, I'm still in the ball game there, fella. What's up with you?
All right. Well, put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game. I'm well, man. I'm well. I had a week of going back to the plantation, putting in my checks for my 40 acres and a half a mule. But I'm doing well. It's hot here in Chicago. I guess it's the last hurrah for summer. It goes here in the shot. You have a couple of days where it's 90 degrees, and next week you got the heat, and you're starting the fire out in the fire pit, trying to stay warm. So that's what's going on here in Chi. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it this weekend, Labor Day weekend. Shout out to all the laborers and the non-laborers.
Yeah, it's a misnomer. Labor Day, Mother's Day, and Labor's Day. I've always said this should change names. Huh?
Yeah.
Unless they had the C-section, then you call it C-section Day. But go ahead, Phil.
Or unless they're still practicing and they really haven't had the labor part of the Labor Day or even the C-section part of the day. But everything is everything. I gotta go see our Chicago White Sox put in some work in about an hour. I don't know how that's going to turn out. It hasn't turned out well this weekend, so I gotta go see a game.
Yeah, you're going to that shithole stadium on that shithole side of the town. It's an eyesore. D says, E Prado, what up, fam? What's going on, bro? You got some hubbub, or you want to jump right into it there, fella?
The hubbub is, did you see all of them black collegiate quarterbacks get down?
Yes.
I'm telling y'all.
Hey, the coach of Alabama has been trying to downplay his colored quarterback. That man came out there and went ape shit.
Yeah, you know what he had.
Man, there's a whole man. Good God.
If I'm a head coach in college, I'm telling all the scouts, this kid's not ready. He needs another 2-3 years. This guy's a bum. You know what I mean? I'd lower their stock so they can stay. Yeah, you need to stay another 3 years.
Yeah, that's what they're doing down there in Texas.
The dude from UCLA. So, you know, they got like a little, I watched that game last night. They got like a little, you know, because it's 2 freshman guys, right? So it's a platoon thing. So I guess the white guy beat the black guy out for the starting job, right?
Allegedly.
Right.
He was doing okay. So I guess
the black guy has to be twice as good a quarterback as the white guy to get an opportunity.
What's the coach who used to do Oregon? Went to the Eagles.
Chip Kelly. I was thinking.
So he said he was gonna play the black guy. You know, like a series of 2 throughout the game. He came in, sparked him, threw a touchdown pass. So then he take him back out, right? White guy's back in, same thing. Put the black dude back in, threw another touchdown pass. After that, he just kind of left him in the game.
That's the guy that broke up the Philadelphia Eagles and got rid of Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson. And
he had to get humbled again before he you know where he's at now. He got humbled.
Right.
He got bust down in the college ranks and everything. So
all right, y'all. Let's hop into it. We got a lot to unpack today. Today we're doing the science of FGB. Bear down. When the last time I checked, the Cubs were 72-62. My Cubs are second in the division. We were 2.5 games behind the Brewers. I believe I had looked into this yesterday. You fans got any nonsense you want to give about the team in town that's posturing for the playoffs?
Playoffs got a problem.
Playoffs?
Yeah, they're gonna have a problem making the playoffs because they can't close games. They gave up 2 games in a row. They had the lead in the ninth inning and lost both of them. They got no close, no answers.
Maybe they ought to hire Kenny McReynolds from BMX Sports.
And the Brewers are hot, man. The Brewers and they got closers. The Brewers have won 11 out of their last 13 games. That's tough for a team you're trying to catch. Catch
you guys are sounding like some Packers fans with all this Brewer crap. You'd rather cheer for the Fudge Packers because the Brewers fans are Fudge Packers. You'd rather cheer for them than the team on the nice, clean, drop dead gorgeous side of town where there's no crime.
just stating the facts. Go Cubs.
They didn't improve their bullpen at all either over the deadline. Well, remember, they were kind of 50-50 whether they was buyers or sellers anyway. So that's
got the nerve to mention a bullpen when you guys' players were sleeping in the bullpen during games.
They may as well had joined them. I mean, the way they've been pitching in the bullpen, they can't do nothing, man. They can't. 2 games in a row. You give up a lead in the 9th inning.
Nonsense. Man, now, as Sox fans, I just want you guys to be impartial, and you know, just like you guys like the Cubs, you know, we have fun here. I like the Sox as well. You know, being from the city of Chicago, you can't help but cheer for both of them. But I'm going to give you guys a quote. Tell me what you think about it. And then, 2023 season was my 43rd season in baseball. It was absolutely the worst season I've ever been through. It was a nightmare. It's still a nightmare. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. All the bad words you can think of is the way I feel about the 2023 season. It was just awful. And that quote was made by Jerry Reinsdorf, your owner. How do you guys feel about that statements?
You say he's awake now?
He got some sort of shot with the baby juice, the placenta shot.
With the right in the spine.
Yeah, he's been looking spry lately.
They took him to Norway and gave him the juice.
First off, is this the worst? I can remember worse seasons than this, but go ahead there, fella.
I think it's probably the worst season in the modern era. It's definitely since the championship of 05. It's the worst season. So he cleaned house. Whoever got him to do it, whether it was son or his girlfriend or the placenta doctor, whoever, he cleaned house. But he didn't clean house. He hired a GM from within without interviewing anyone else outside of the organization.
He hired the white guy that used to pass out the programs at the AAA system. And these are, I'm gonna throw it back. Keep going, Ace. But I'm gonna throw it back to Ace. But these are, you kept saying on the last show, man, Kenny McReynolds, he had only hired one GM. I didn't realize that. You know what I'm saying? That Mark got one chance. Okay, but go ahead, Ace, and then we'll get it to Diesel. I said, wow.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He did only get to hire one person. I guess who was his buddy. He didn't get a chance to fire him, and then you bring somebody inside of the organization who had to have the same mentality or the same thought process as the GM you just fired and the vice president you just fired. So, I don't understand what's going on, what's going to change, but, we'll see in the near future. But, and he hasn't fired the coach yet. So I don't know what's going on over on the South Side.
You mean the manager? The manager's still there?
Yeah, he's still there. Trying to figure out what's going on.
Squeezing pennies. He don't want to fire him. That's all. Reinsdorf
He said he gets another season. The manager, they said he's going to be there next year. So my question is, okay, well, Kenny only had this one, this one GM. How come he don't get another GM to put forth? Right. And then he's still claiming, oh, that's my son, though. He's my son, but
because he kept jumping in. He kept jumping in the pool. He kept jumping in the swimming pool at Reinsdorf's pool parties, pissing off all his guests. They was getting out of the water when his black ass kept getting in the pool. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
so that's why.
So maybe he's referring to, because statistically, I've seen worse Sox teams, but maybe he's referring to just based on the talent that they have and they haven't performed. And that's how he should have worded it. That it's disappointing. For what they have, and they just haven't performed like that. And to be honest, they had their starters' ERA for the most part of the season was decent. So it just, the offensive performance wasn't there. So yeah, he want to blow up the team. Okay, he blowing up the team, but he did call foul on them reporting that he was trying to sell the team or move the team. He's like, man, he ain't said nothing like that, man. He's like, they make an article and then they try to get the public to start feeding off of that to create some buzz or something. But he said he didn't say nothing like that.
Yeah, it's clickbait. So your new GM, Chris Getz.
Man, he just was playing with them. How the hell he gonna be your GM? I just remember seeing him playing for them, man. He ain't been that long removed.
Senior VP baseball operations. He's an ex-player, been with the organization since 2017. He was in charge of player development in the minors. So how does he get rewarded developing these bums?
Yeah, it's his fault. The farm system stinks.
Do you think he backdoored Kenny McReynolds? Kenny Williams, do you think he was in Reinsdorf's ear and bringing up bad players just so he can get that guy fired so he can take over his position? I've seen worse.
He must have. He must have pictures of somebody, maybe with Kenny and, like I said, getting out of the pool and going into, a room at the house or something. But, to have someone that's in charge of development of players and you haven't developed anybody, and definitely not since 2017. I know. How do you reward this guy with a position such as that in your organization? It's going to be even worse as unless he knows how to hire people that can develop talent. So we'll see.
I would have did just like this because Kenny Williams has proven that he can, from one season to the next, flip the team around. And, because of the talent that they got, he could flip and add some pieces and do. I would have told him, I just said, listen, that guy's gone, you about to be the GM for the next year. You're going to find a replacement during that time. but you're going to be the GM, turn this thing around, get us back on the right track. And you come back in the office after next year, and we go from there. That's exactly what I would have did.
Oh yeah, I've seen that happen in business. That's not a bad move. That wouldn't
He's
be a bad
shown
move.
that he can flip the team around and put good pieces within a season. So
and you're going to do
it's not
both
that
jobs
hard.
since we got to pay this bum you hired, for not working. This your responsibility. Yeah. I wonder if you got offered.
And we got to fire the manager.
Son. This is his son.
Yeah, you're going to manage the team too, Ray.
And sell popcorn and pass out beer, roll up the blunts for the Chicago fans.
And then he was defending Mr. Anheuser-Busch himself, La Russa. Did you see his comments on La Russa? How he was saying like, and he brought that up. I don't even think they asked him a question about La Russa. As he was talking during that interview, he started rambling, and he was like, I can't understand why everybody was saying I should have never brought back Tony La Russa and all of that. Well, look at him. He's like, oh, well, he's been going through
all these guys out here like Mitch McConnell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, what's the question? You gotta speak louder. I don't know what the hell's going on in here.
Well, we bring La Russa back as a consultant. I mean, what the hell do you expect? People are gonna ask, what the hell's? I thought we finally got rid of this damn guy. But
he was taken up for him when he made him the manager. And that was the problem. Everybody was like, man, look at this guy. He looked like rigor mortis already set in. What are you doing?
Yeah, but he can't see that. You know what I mean? Because he looks like rigor mortis.
Yeah, not anymore. He got the shot. Got the
he did get the baby placenta shot.
Yeah.
Hey, so go Sox, go Cubs. The California baseball team right here from El Segundo, where I lost my wallet, neighboring town to Inglewood. They went out there and won the World Series, something our Chicago team could not do. I don't know if those kids weren't processing. Maybe I think it was the management. We're not going to blame.
I think they were melanated as the reason why that these El Segundo kids were being celebrated. But go ahead.
Did you see that kid? He hit the walk-off. Did you see how he flipped the bat? And there was some conversation about it, and it was all okay when he flipped the bat. Now, I bet you if that was Pookie or Ray on JRW, it would have been a whole big thing about how they disrespected the
sportsmanship, disrespect.
And correct me if I'm wrong, those kids out of California, they can get those kids from throughout the state for their
That's what me and Ace was talking about.
And you can't do it here. And it's such a big thing just to get them from like surrounding suburbs, not even throughout the whole damn state.
That's an issue. But I will say this. I did investigate a little bit, Ace. Most of those kids came up playing together. Now, that just like Jackie Robinson, that don't mean they didn't have one or two that didn't come up with them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The damn ball over the fence probably didn't come up with them. Yeah.
That's like all us coming up together, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna add Benji Wilson to the team. You know what I mean? And we were already cold, and you added
right.
We're
gonna see what happens when we add Benji Wilson.
I'd be like, we all played together. I was scrappy, you know. Hey, but big ups, man. They got it done, man. They brought one home. They beat those 75-year-old foreign kids. So shout out to them.
They got it done on the field, man. 2014 Jackie Robinson won it on the field too.
I'd love to have a league owned by Ice Cube where after the World Series you can put together some sort of Negro leagues for the baseball, and then the Negro League World Series goes on, and then after the Negro League World Series you play the champion of the Negro leagues, the New Hampshire Philowackies would play these kids from California. That would be big for ESPN. Yes. You'd have Jackie Robinson West playing those kids. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. They definitely would say that we were cheating once we beat them.
Yeah. Because it'd be a lot of stuff that go in there. They would know better than me. Questionable calls for certain hue. You know what I mean? But you can get them in a neutral stadium, make them play a series, 3 games at Jackie Robinson, 4 games over there in El Segundo, boy.
Left my wallet, baby. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I was mistaken about the Sanford and Son. They lived on El Segundo Boulevard. Not
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. That's
Yes.
from Watts, boy. It's from Watts up. It's from Watts up. Big ups to Watts.
Big
All right,
ups
so
to
today's topic is FGB. Can I get an FGB out of you guys? You guys?
FGB.
Diesel, you're not gonna give us an FGB, or you
F-
respect them?
What is it?
FGB, not FBG. FGB.
I don't think you said it before.
No, I never said it. Sounds like foundational guerrilla black folks or something like that.
Yeah.
Go
F
to TATN.
Green. F Green Bay.
Yeah,
All
I know.
right. Bear down. So let's jump to this. You guys heard it here first. You know, my sources were telling me last week before I forgot the guy who broke the story for ESPN. When Giannis came out whining about this, that, and the third, I told y'all somebody must be in his ear. And now there's a legitimate rumor that the Lakers, it's all over the media now, that the Lakers are posturing to potentially move Anthony Davis, the unibrow, for Giannis.
Tampering.
Heard it here first. Are they going to win a chip if this happens? Lakers.
Yes. I mean,
No, it depends on who they giving up with them, because they ain't just trading them for no damn Anthony Davis with his injury prone self. No.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. They ain't giving up nothing else.
Then they ain't trading.
Anthony Davis and some future draft picks. I mean,
They ain't really got no draft picks left to be traded. So
listen, they're gonna make it happen because it's either lose Giannis for nothing and be a dumb team like the Reinsdorf Bulls, or you go ahead and take Anthony Davis while you can and let Giannis go ahead about his long head.
That's not going to happen, because you're still going to have, he's under contract for this year, so he got to play this year. You can get up to the trade deadline and trade with somebody else. You ain't
you don't want him disgruntled.
Yeah,
he's already disgruntled. He's already that's either his agent or somebody that's leaking that information public, so they can make it so teams will start going, oh, you probably don't want to be there to get traded. So he's already disgruntled. So
I'm sure the Lakers already tampered, so they've already talked to him. It's all set up, and just like they got Kareem, just like they got Shaq, they're gonna get Giannis. They're gonna trade the
just like they got Kobe with that dumbass trade.
Yeah, you're not trading Giannis for no damn Anthony Davis. You need more than Anthony Davis to trade
draft picks.
They don't have no draft picks.
Anthony Davis is easily a top 7 player in the league, top 5.
You talking about next year? They can string the draft picks out for the next 5 damn years.
You're gonna have to come up off some other players.
For a disgruntled player, you don't have to come up off all that. If this man is telling you I'm not reason, listen,
I'm not trading him.
Listen, if your woman or wife came home and said, I'm not re-signing this marriage in 2 years, what are you gonna do? You're going to have her sit around your house and be disgruntled for those last 2 years and then lose her for nothing when you could trade her for Anthony Davis and get something?
If he's under contract and they still going to retain like his bird right, so they can give him the most money, he's on some, well, if I don't see them improve the team, I think we discussed this last week. If I don't see them improve the team, then I ain't gonna try to.
But that's what they all do in small markets. So we knew it didn't make sense. So again, why is this happening? To Ace's point, there's got to be some tampering going on, because he's talking out the side of his neck for no reason. They leave these small markets and then they come out here to LA. I've seen it over and over and over.
I'm not saying that he wouldn't. I'm saying if I'm the Bucks, I'm gonna trade you somewhere else, unless the Lakers are coming up off more than Anthony Davis. It is not a fair trade. Okay, that's a con. It's a fair trade. You can both walk away happy. I'm not trading for Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis, top 10 player in the league.
He's always hurt. He's gonna be hurt. No,
Giannis was hurt in the playoffs last year and can't shoot free throws, and he's disgruntled. He's not going to resign.
I don't care. It ain't a fair trade.
So okay, he can't answer the question. But Ace, if they do trade him, and you have Giannis playing with LeBron in the twilight years, are they winning a chip this season?
Yeah, I believe the way the team is currently constructed, I don't know how many players you think they need to trade for Giannis with his huge contract. Anthony Davis' huge contract. It's going to be even money. Yeah, they're gonna make the deal, and the league will make sure.
And you think they'll win the chip? I would still lean towards
the league will make sure
like
they
the
get a
Lakers.
chip for LeBron's going away party. It's sports entertainment. So I believe that's what we're.
Period. Not for no Anthony Davis. It's probably better stuff they can get out there for him than Anthony Davis.
It's been happening over the course of time.
History of NBA. Guys are traded for less because
Kareem,
yes,
Shaq,
yes,
LeBron.
Well, Shaq was a free agent, but yes.
Well,
yes.
I mean, all of these guys end up in LA.
Yeah,
whether it's free agency or trade, or everybody ends. Anthony Davis ended up in LA. Come on, it's gonna get done.
What was that trade? The league nixed. It was, first of all, Paul Gasol got to the Lakers in a dumbass trade for nonsense.
Chris Paul.
Yeah, Chris Paul. The league nixed that because they were trade. It was giving up Chris Paul for nonsense. You know what I'm saying? It's
right, and it's the same kind of thing with where they're investigating Portland with Damian Lillard, the man in the trick talking about he want to go to Miami.
I'm only gonna play for Miami.
Yeah, so it's like
I don't want to talk. He did an interview. I don't want to talk about Portland. I would have told him get out. This interview's done.
Right. So they got to draw the line at some place as far as these players trying to demand they out. They can't. I mean, it ain't like the NFL. You can sit out a certain amount of games and then you're a free agent the following year.
Mm-hmm.
No. You still under contract. If I'm just like you guys keep saying, all these previous dumb move trades by GMs and stuff, don't do it. It is not. Man, listen, Anthony Davis, quiet as is kept. He's been in the league for a while now, right? About 8 years at least. At least 8. So, I mean, and as many injuries as he's had, it only gets worse as you get older. I'm not trading for that dude, no kind of way. No, sir. No.
So you rather lose Giannis?
No, I'd
let him walk away for nothing.
I'd find somebody else to trade. I'd find somebody else. It ain't that hard.
He's trying to get Nick Foles thrown in the package.
Nick Foles and
yeah, just in time. Yeah, we gonna get trade for him. Yeah, put him on the court.
We've belabored it. We've belabored it. All right.
Nick Foles and Zach LaVine, the Bulls will make that trade.
Yeah, but they ain't trading to somebody in their own division and their own conference. So whatever you're gonna do, you're gonna try to get Giannis out west. So you only potentially got to deal with him in the finals, and then you just foul him. Yeah, foul him down the stretch and put him on the line. Him and LeBron. Right. All right, but let's move on, man. The science of FGB is our topic. So right now we're on our NBA beat, but we're pushing past. We're going to get to the Bears. So according to Flus, the team's healthy. Everyone except for Tevin, who's been placed on the IR. Tevin.
For a minute, boys and
girls. For a minute. Yeah, we got to know your name. So Tevin Campbell Jenkins is out once again. He should get a unibrow because that guy's Mr. Glass. Love him. But hey, your best ability is your availability. He's the only one out, but everyone else should be, healthy for the Pack game. So y'all got any comments on that and the cuts and acquisitions? Give me your Bears talk before we get into some specifics.
Well, I mean, the cuts went as anticipated, except for Vilas is still on the team.
My Vilas, you're gonna eat crow about Vilas.
A valuable asset for the Bears as a 3rd round pick. However, they did pick up a kick returner at the cut down
from San Fran, and he's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, he's drop dead gorgeous. So we'll see what he does out here on the field.
Led the league in 20-yard or longer returns last year. He's not going to break one, but he's smart.
You never know. It depends on the blocking. We picked up a native Illinoisan who, as a guard, to replace Tevin till he comes back. Who likes to drink beer and play football.
He's a guard and a center. I like him. He can play both positions. That was good for their line. That was a good pickup by Ryan Poe's position.
Yeah. I guess he had been eyeing that guy, and he picked up a defensive end and a safety. So, I mean, the Bears, they're in position to start this season and put the hammer on the Fudge Packers as they try and saunter into Soldier Field without that Smug Rogers guy who allegedly owns the Bears, but he's gone.
Well, they picked up Peterman again, but you got any comments on this about any cuts, any acquisitions, Tevin Jenkins, the health of the Bears, Diesel?
You know what my comments is directed at?
Fields.
Ace's favorite, his BFF, his favorite Bear.
Justin's Field.
Yeah.
Justin's Field.
I'm happy because he's got no excuses now. He's got to perform. He's got to perform.
Team sport.
He got to get down. He got to get down. He got no excuses. And it goes back to I'm happy though, because if he doesn't, there's a bunch of good quarterbacks coming out, and he'll be replaced. It's that simple. So he better perform.
You know about your point that he's not a polls guy. The Bears are down to, that he's not a pace guy. The Bears are down to 8 players from the pace regime. All 8 of those players are starters. So they're getting rid of you if you're not a polls guy and you ain't performing.
Yeah.
And go back and do your homework. Look at the past TATN tape where I told y'all about Deion Sanders' son when he was QBing at Jackson State.
We did a whole show on his son.
No, but that was after. But that was after the fact.
No, we knew about this kid. He was a two-way player.
I said it before that.
Oh, wait.
I was the first
no,
one
you're
to
talking
say
about the quarterback. You're right.
Quarterback, not the cornerback.
I was talking about the corner/receiver. That's who the Bears should draft.
Talked about
That's
his
who
son. And I was like, hey, man, I watched them play, and I was like, man, his son, he looked like he was quarterbacking for real, like a real legit QB. And you got, it's division. It's not, the competition and everything. I was like, no, but he looked like he could play the position.
Nobody ever downed Shakur Sanders on this show.
No, you didn't like, listen, you didn't like.
He comes from prime stock.
You didn't like.
Exactly.
You didn't diss him, but you didn't like.
Respect his accomplishments.
Yeah. From what I was telling y'all, I was like, man, I watched him play, and I was like, look, man, he looked like he got it as far as a QB. And
we support black quarterbacks on here.
You support them, but you wasn't like you guys were saying like with question marks behind it.
So you were saying he's going to throw for 500 yards his first game?
No, I was saying that the boy could play quarterback. Yes. Why you wasn't saying that?
We have to find the tape.
Why you were still holding the torch for just
me and Ace, we will admit to it. I will eat crow. Never remember.
Let's look back at the tape.
Yeah, I never remember saying anything negative about Shakur Sanders. Now
I didn't say you said nothing negative. I said you didn't give him props like I was giving. You guys was like, oh well, question marks like y'all was written.
All right, so let's talk numbers, and this should be right up your alley, Diesel. I know you like to play the ponies every now and then. So our Bears, up till yesterday, they're 1.5 point favorite over the Packers game. Where's that game played at?
Soldier Field.
And the last game of the season is played in Green Bay, so this is an important game. Chicago is minus 136 on the money line, while Green Bay is plus 116. The over-under point total is set at 44.5. The Packers are coming off an 8-9 season, and our Bears were 3-14. So, you guys, are we going to cover the spread?
Cover the spread. Taking the Bears with the over.
I'm not betting that spread. I'm gonna buy some points. You better add some points if you're taking the Bears, because I don't until Fields show me something. I'm not trusting them on no straight spread like that. No.
Black quarterback.
Now the over.
You trust just Jordan Love?
Yeah.
No, I don't trust him either.
All right. Well, then you got to. All right, I got you. So the 44.5 points. You taking the over or the under on that?
That's tough. The Bears secondary.
scoring like 23.
the Bears secondary looked real good. When their starters played in the preseason. Plus, I don't even think they had all these starters.
Linebackers are solid. We got more depth. We were barely losing games last year.
The only issue will be that, the defensive line, if they could stop the run. So if they could stop the run, then that 44 going to be hard to get to.
But you got to place these bets before you know if they're going to stop the run.
Yeah,
so you're taking the over or the under?
I'm taking the under.
And you're not giving the Bears, you're not taking the 1.5.
No, Matt, to be honest with you, the same way I would buy like 7, I'd make it where the Bears are like 7.5, getting 7.5 plus 7.5. I do the same thing with the over under. I take like 7 points. Probably not that many, but I'll make it where like it's at 40 to go over 40, something like that. The first game of the season, it's hard to say, man. You know what I mean? I usually reserve from betting
to about
till you get more data.
4.
So what are y'all predicting the score of this game to be? Bears Pack.
That's a good one too, man.
I got Bears 27, Pack 20.
Bears 31, FGB 21.
Hold on, I'm gonna write this down. 9, Bears 27, Pack 20. What did you say, Ace?
Bears 31, Pack 21.
Diesel?
23-20.
Bears?
I don't want to say the Bears. It could be either one of the team. I don't think they're going too much higher than that.
I'm asking you to predict the score of the game.
Yeah, I said 23-20, bro. Who's going to get the 23? I don't know because I don't trust either team. But you can say the Bears since we Bears fans. I'll give them the nod, but it's a shaky nod. I don't trust it.
All right, we got another one for you guys. The bookmakers are projecting the Bears to be significantly better in 2023 as the team's over-under is set at 7.5 wins compared to the 3 games we won last season. The Bears are plus 5,200 to win the Super Bowl. Those are the 18th ranked odds in the league as of August 27th. So, Diesel, 7.5 wins with Justin. He may be high on the autism scale, according to you. Fields at the helm. The line is not rebuilt, but it's better. You added a solid Pro Bowler and you added a solid draft pick. So what are we looking at out there? You taking it? You got to put your mortgage money on
7 or 7.5.
It's 7.5. So we'd have to win 8 games, 8 and 9.
They'd probably win at least. Yeah, they'd probably get 8 games.
That's surprising. He's trusting Justin.
It doesn't necessarily come to him. I think it's
trusting Justin Fields.
I'm not trusting him. I'm trusting other players to do stuff.
He's the engine in that Corvette.
But he
ain't processed.
And there ain't no gas in the car. So
plenty of gas.
Well, we got Ace is on record saying the Bears are going 13-4 this season, so he's taking the over. And I had to look at it too. I'm taking the over as well. We're all homers, obviously, but I need to get this bet in. But I think I'm going to put some large on it, maybe $300 on it. See what happens. All right, so Aaron Donald, you guys. Donald, he's out there. He's playing for a loser team. Okay. He's top 5 players so in the league. Ace said he's taking calls. Are you taking calls, Diesel? And then what would you offer them for a veteran, an ex-Lion? Be good to bring him back to the division and let him step on his own former teammates, what have you.
Aaron Donald. No, I ain't taking no.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
All right, Ace, what kind of package are you like? Okay, if it's a matter of draft picks, Ace don't be wanting to give up that rookie. He's all caught up on some guy. If he can just, this guy's the second coming of Aaron Donald, but you can literally have Aaron Donald and trade this rookie in there and package them up with a draft
give
pick.
him,
What do you give him?
I package up Velus Jones, maybe that second round draft pick, and and send them over there and get Aaron Donald over here, get him off their books.
You said a second round draft pick?
Yeah.
I agree. I try to offer a third, but yes, because they desperate for picks in the Rams, and McVay will give them up. He's an offensive guy.
Yeah, the problem is he don't want to be traded like that because, they get out there in Cali, they'll put up with a losing team just to be out there.
Nobody wants to lose.
I mean, they probably don't mean he want to lose, but if you're going to lose, I'll lose if I'm out here in Cali. So who's to say he wants to leave?
Well, let me say this. If we pick up Aaron Donald, and I agree with you, Ace, but if we pick him up, then now I'm leaning towards Ace's 13-4. I'd say, and this is how big a move this is. I'd have us at 12-5 if you add that guy. What he means to the locker room, to the defense, he's a guy who he'll step on your neck. Ace, imagine him in this Packers rivalry.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, we're on 3 levels. You're hard pressed to get the ball off. Then you're covered in the by the linebackers, and have time to get out the ball all the way down the field. You'd be hard pressed.
And he injures quarterbacks. He has a certain knack to hurt those guys and get them out of the game.
Got that LT gene, and we'll give him the booger sugar if he needs it here in Chicago. Right.
We only need 2 seasons out of him. By that time, to your point, Diesel, we know if Justin's field is able to process. We know what direction we're going in. But if you truly, I've said it on this show, if you truly want to give him an opportunity to win, it's more than just adding offensive pieces. You got to have a respectable defense so he don't always have his knee on his neck and have to score points.
40 points a game. Yeah.
Now look at that. We got Jim entering the room. This might be a Packer backer. I think we got a Packer backer. We'll see. All right. List your top. We're going to go through our top. I didn't tell you this, Diesel. So I'll give you a minute as Jim talks. Your top NFL coaches current. Now it's a twist to this. This isn't who you think had the best history of coach. You could be whatever you want. But the bottom line is you're an owner of a team. You just bought you an NFL team. And you can have any coach. And the league is asking for your top 5 who you're considering as a head coach. But Jimmy Recovery, what's going on, good fella? Let's get him off mute. Hold on. You give us some banter as you join in. Now this guy, this guy's a bit of a rarity. He's a Chicago born and bred Packer backer. This guy's a fudge packer, Diesel. He's a Packer fan. But what up there, fella? Give us some hubbub before we continue on. We want to hear from you, Jimmy.
What's going on, fellas? You better win that first game. You better win that first game.
Well, what about y'all? Wouldn't that same pressure be on y'all? We coming in here talking about we better win. Wouldn't that same pressure be on the Packers there, fella?
Man, you know I'm a Bear fan. Stop it. I'm just a crossbreed.
No. Diesel, he was at my house and he
don't lie to the public.
Yeah, don't lie to the public. We watched the games at my crib, Diesel, when I was over there on Cornell. Ace could attest to it. All the guys, every Packers week, he'd show up talking that Packers shit from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. Now those quarterbacks are gone and they got a black quarterback back there processing. Now he's not a Packer fan because they got a black quarterback. Now I'm going to say it, but I told him, I said he was trolling so much, Diesel. I said, I would never let you back on the Bears bandwagon ever. Because to me, anyone who would who become a Packers fan could never be a Bears fan and could never have been a Bears fan. What do you guys say?
Never again in life.
Never was.
Man, I went to all the games in the 70s, every last one of them.
Yeah,
there.
I was at the game. I was at the game sitting at the south end of the goalpost when the Bears beat the Packers 61-3. And Bob Thomas missed 2 extra
But you was cheering for the Packers.
That was 1981, December 13th.
When they had Brett Favre all the way through Aaron Rodgers. How many years
December
is that? How many years is that? But I want to hear your take on Justin Fields because you might have some support here because DJ Prado is not a big fields guy. Now, you play a lot of Madden, Jim. Give me your take on Justin's Field, getting the ball out, processing, getting the kids in and out of the huddle, being on the clock. What's your take on this?
Well, he's got an arm, so it just depends on the coaching staff. On
He
how
can
they get
run, too.
plays
He's
in.
athletic.
Yeah, he's got an arm. And like I said, it depends on how the coaching staff get his plays in, man. He had a lot of delay. We had a lot of, Bears had
That's
a lot of
Getsy.
delayed games.
Getsy's new. Yeah.
Last year. They got to get the plays in on time. It's very, very important. So, like you say, that he can process or have time to process instead of coming up to the line of scrimmage and then got to hike the ball because it's no time left on the play clock.
It's very important to have somebody to throw the ball to also.
Well, they got a couple of guys. Did they pick up a couple of guys, right?
DJ Moore, Claypool's balling now.
He got no excuses.
Still on the roster.
He got no excuses now. He got receivers. I don't want to hit a receiver issue. It's his throwing. That's the problem. His throwing. Do you trust him in a hurry up offense? No.
Yes.
Because I don't. Do you see him?
He's better in the offense now.
Man, please. Do you think he called any audibles on his own last year?
He did actually. Towards the end of the
probably
season.
you could count him on one hand.
And he's with the Bears do, Diesel, the Bears come to the line, and out of that play, I heard Getsy talking about it. They have two options. So if you get one look, you don't really have to change the formation, but there's two options on every play, and he's able to select based on what he's processing out there. That's why they need a center.
That sounds like a cat. That sounds like a cat, and that sounds like some Mike Martz type of stuff that he was running in St. Louis. Oh, you come there. We don't need to call an audible because we got 4 different plays based off of what they're doing.
And that's what Bilbo Baggins said. He said the offense is always an option. Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, well, I put it to you this way. I seen you guys is what's the guy's name? The backup who either made it to he's gonna either be the backup or the third string. He looked better, whatever you want to call it. He looked better running a hurry up offense in the preseason than I seen Justin Fields his whole time since he's been with the Bears.
Because he's trying to make the team.
And he's playing against bombs.
Whatever he's playing against, whether he was successful against it or not, he looked better running it than I seen Fields.
He was playing against bombs in a vanilla defense.
Whether it's been the preseason or the regular season, I ain't seen Fields look comfortable at all running a hurry up.
So you didn't see Fields go on a tear and score over 30 points for 4 straight weeks and be the absolute only thing they had on offense last season and rush for over 1,100 yards.
That wasn't a hurry up.
He did. He had a lot of hurry up scores last season.
I ain't seen no hurry up
before the half.
I ain't seen no hurry up. And I ain't seen him calling no audibles either. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Let's do our
hurry up. You want him to do the hurry up the whole game. Is that what you're saying?
Occasionally.
Run and shoot.
He go through a whole game. He don't never do a hurry up.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's do this. We're gonna say Phil. We'll do a whole show where people can come on and bash Justin Field. But we're gonna wait for mid-season so we can figure out who's eating crow and who's not. So let's do our top 5. So you probably missed it. What we're gonna do here, Jimmy? You're an NFL owner, just like you're running your Madden teams on PS5. And the league is asking you to select 5 coaches who you would like to run your organization. And then so we're going to, list them from 5 down to 1 being the one who you really want. So my special mention, my number 6, I'm going with the HITS principle. Run the operation, the management. Yeah, I'm going with Flus. He's an honorable mention. You guys don't have to have one, but do you guys have an honorable mention you want to talk about before we get into the list?
Who did you say for you?
Eberflus. Matt Eberflus.
The coach. That's the coach of the Bears, right?
That's just right. You're a Bears fan. You should know who the coach is, Jimmy.
With that Packers pendant.
Right. With that damn Chicago police flag. What
Bears fans has a Packer flag in their house?
He's been drinking that uncut moonshine. That's what's wrong.
Uncut. I'll show you a Chicago flag here. There you go, coach. Yeah.
You got the same thing I got, coach.
No, look at the stars. Look at the stars closer.
Oh yeah. I see.
All right. So who's you guys number 5?
Coaching.
Yes.
My honorable mention would be Leslie Frazier. He's out right now, illness, family problems, whatever. But Leslie Frazier.
He ain't processed it.
It's more
46.
asinine than his. Oh my God.
He just picked him because he's black. All right. Does anybody else have an honorable mention? Does anybody else have an
46,
honorable
and
mention?
he's a Bear.
I go with Ray Rhodes because he only got a chance to get 1 year and he went 8-8.
No.
not
So you would
coaching.
hire him off the street right now to run your organization. That's what you're saying? I think they
Oh,
would
okay. You talking
coach
about
you out of the league.
coaches now? You talking about coaches now?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
You're running an organization and you bought a team and the league said choose 5 current coaches, 5 to 1 of which one you want, and 1 being the one you want the most. We're on number 5 here. Diesel.
Okay. Give me Jim Harbaugh.
From the Baltimore Ravens.
John,
the one in Michigan.
University of Michigan. Guys suspended.
All right. He can take him. I was only thinking that's currently coaching in the NFL, but if you guys gonna do that, just do what the hell you want. But all right, we got Jim Harbaugh. Diesel, who you going with? The coach of Alabama? Call all your guys slaves.
No, absolutely not. I would go with for 5th, just because his age, and he's been in the league for a long time. So and I'm only saying it because it's the 5th, and I'm taking.
You're thinking like I was thinking when I did my list.
I'm gonna say Andy Reid. If he was a few years younger or whatever, I'm taking.
I know what
Andy
you're saying.
Reid.
I know you. I'm going with Dan Campbell of the Lions for my number 5. Dan Campbell. I like what he's doing over there.
Now that should have been your honorable mention. That's a decent pick. See, that other pick you made, that's
How the hell you gonna tell him what his pick is?
Exactly. Eberflus has to have a chance to turn it around. Dan Campbell was about 3-14 in his first season. You got to give Eberflus some talent. He'd be the next Dan Campbell, and he's got the hits principle, the operation. All right. Who's number 4? Who you guys going with number 4? Your number 4.
I didn't say my 5. My 5 is Coach Prime.
See, now they throwing in college people.
They're just throwing in people from shithole colleges.
They got to be
just because he's black. No,
NFL coaches.
All right, yeah, we're gonna make the rule. Give me a new number 5. Give me a new number 5. They got to be NFL. The league's not letting you guys come in here and hire coons off the street.
You damn right. They're gonna allow me to bring in Coach Prime to fill in the stands.
Come on,
former All-Pro.
Come on, work
coaches.
with us. Because basically, we're doing the top 5 NFL coaches. That is what was asked. So
that's my 5.
No. Give me an NFL.
It seemed like you should say it just top.
No. Top 5. Why is this so difficult? List your current top 5 NFL coaches that you'd hire if you were a team owner and you had a choice.
They got to be from the NFL ranks. Yes. Whether they're an assistant, a coordinator, something like that. But it can't be somebody from college.
Basically, I want your top 5
because they're not.
Okay,
in the
let me change the question then, Diesel. List your top 5 NFL coaches, starting with number 5. Hugo, these fucking guys. Both of them went to Catholic school and a retarded Lutheran school.
Jim Caldwell. I bring him in.
All right, I don't know his name, but I go with the coach of the Detroit Lions.
I just said his name. Dan Campbell.
See, I don't know all the names, man. So
but I just said it because he's my number 5 too. Dan Campbell. All right, Dan Campbell. You said Jim Caldwell.
Yeah, bring him off.
And Bezos, you said
Carolina.
Andy Reid for number 5.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Who's number 4? I'll start with mine. I got Doug Peterson of the Jags. Doug Peterson. I like him. Okay. I like him. He's always competitive.
My number 4 would be whoever is the coach for Philly. I'm not sure his name.
That is Nick Sirianni. Sirianni. Yeah. He's young. He's processing.
Number 4.
And he made your boy process. People didn't think he could process the quarterback.
Which is what I'm hoping happens to Justin Fields, even though I don't think he'll do it. That's what I'm hoping for.
Right. All right. We know your stance on Justin's field. Number 4, Hugo or
I got Rivera. Where's his name for Washington, right?
Ron Rivera.
Yeah,
Ronald
ex-Bear.
Yeah.
Ex-Bear.
I would
He's
have had
been
him
around
as
a long time, man.
I'd have had him as an honorable mention because of his health problems, you know. But yeah, I can see that. It's a good call.
Ace, number 4.
Dan Campbell. Detroit
He's
Lions.
Dan Campbell's been mentioned a lot here. All right.
I like him. He's got fire in his belly.
I like him too. He can coach the
he
Bears.
motivates his players.
Yes.
He does, even if he's up there crying on the podium, you know.
Yes.
It seems to motivate him.
Might not know nothing about X's and O's, but he can make me want to run through the wall. All right, Ace, give me your number 3.
My number 3 is my guy out of New York, the Jets. The ball head guy came from San Fran. Damn, I can't remember his name. Serrano or something with S. But the Jets head coach, current head coach, would be my number 3. Let me look.
Somebody Google it. All right. So he's going with the Jets head coach as his number 3. Jimmy.
All right, we go with Belichick, man.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So he's
Robert
got
Saleh.
Saleh, yeah.
Saleh, yeah.
Billy.
You like him, huh? What'd you say, Jimmy?
I said Belichick, New England head coach. Might as well.
All right. Diesel.
I'm taking the Rams head coach.
Sean McVay.
McVay, yeah. He's a good one to have if you starting off a team.
He's
to
young.
build a team
He's got
around.
some years left in him.
Pretty good offensive scheme.
Yeah. Knows the modern NFL. My number 3 is somebody y'all mentioned is Nick Sirianni, the Eagles coach. I like, hopefully he could do what he's done over there for just in time and run a similar offense. So, but of course, I wouldn't necessarily have just in time in this scenario. But I'm going with Nick Sirianni, regardless of who my quarterback was. My number 2 is someone that Diesel just mentioned, and that's going to be Sean McVay of the Rams. Some of these names are getting thrown around quite often. And Jimmy, who's your number 2?
I'm going to go with the coach of the San Francisco 49ers. Wasn't he an offensive coordinator first?
Shanahan.
One of those,
Kyle Shanahan.
Shanahans.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan from the Shanahan tree.
Yeah.
All right. Ace, number 2. Not a bad pick, Hugo. Not a bad pick. He ain't
My
won
number
nothing.
2 is Sean McDermott, Buffalo Bills head coach. Sean McDermott.
He ain't won nothing either. He's one of those geniuses that came up in the league.
Yeah, it was only one wins every year.
Yeah, well, Jimmy could coach that team if you had that quarterback. He processed. Drop dead gorgeous, too. You seen him? Drop dead gorgeous. And he's got Buffalo's coach for his number 2, Diesel.
My number 2 would be, this would probably shock y'all, but I would take my guy who never could get the head coaching spot, but he's the coordinator in Washington now.
Oh, that under the KC tree, from the KC tree.
Yeah, what's his name?
Pookie Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy. Yeah.
I would have selected him, but he talks about himself in the third person too much for me, Diesel. I
don't mind. I don't mind reading his novel.
Don't care
if
about
you want to
that.
write a novel talking to the third person, go ahead.
But Eric Bieniemy isn't hard on his players. Eric Bieniemy was brought here to do a job. Eric Bieniemy, I'm like, oh,
I like it. I like the way he like puts that discipline in them, and now I can kind of see why.
That's the military in him, Jimmy. He
some
likes
of those
discipline.
that Kansas City those players how they
These are a military guy. They like all that discipline. All right. I mean, we're not gonna knock.
Diesel is an American. He pays taxes.
Yeah, he pays taxes. Probably got auto insurance. All right, now driver's license. But go ahead, Diesel. Spin that off into who's your guy. If you had your choice, you can go get him. Might have to give up a compensatory third round pick or something like that. But who's your guy? I've only heard Belichick once, which is weird. It's weird.
No, you're not gonna hear me say Belichick. I don't need no. He's on his last limb. If he cheats again, he out the league pretty much. And I won't say San Francisco, and you know why? Because of the San Francisco, if you notice, you've been hearing some background grumblings about how they run their operation there between the coaches and the GMs and stuff, which ain't really favorable. So I ain't saying them. I would go with he's actually very consistent and a tweak here and there, Mike Tomlin.
All right, so since he stepped out there and said to Color, who's my fraternity brother, Mike Tomlin. I went with Mike Tomlin too, and I could honestly say not just because he's black. I had to sit back and Jimmy, you need to do this. Imagine if Mike Tomlin was drop dead gorgeous. He had long flowing blonde hair. He wore those suits and put the grease in his hair. You know what I mean? And sat there and talked smart. You know damn well he'd be number one on your list with his track record, taking bum teams, getting them to the playoffs year after year, and he's got a chip or two, under his belt. So that's my case for Mike Tomlin as well. To Ace's point, he's an inspiration. He comes out there and these are men. Somebody try to ask him some dumb question about Velus Jones. He's a man. These men work hard.
Hey, it's slightly military-like too. And
he is. He's very military. But he's also a player's coach. And even the bad teams, he gets them close to 500.
Well,
he's always over 500. He's got an NFL record of being over 500. NFL record.
Coaches. I mean, even though I took an old boy from the Rams, last year, the team he had, what was their finishing record?
3-4
something. Dude would have been 9-8. And he's got the longest history of being. He's never been under 500 with any team they gave him. Mike Tomlin. But go ahead.
A rookie quarterback last year.
Yeah, and Trubisky started with Trubisky, but had enough sense to not keep running them out there like our dumb coaches.
Out the game. Yeah.
All right, but let's get the rookie. All right, Jimmy, who's your guy at the helm for your Madden?
What, number one?
Yeah, this is number one.
We'll go with Matt LaFleur.
Look at him, man. He's a Bears fan, and he's a Bears fan. Y'all hear this? And he's a Bears fan.
Well, because he's got
make your case for Matt LaFleur.
49,
that son of a bitch hasn't won
49-13 or something.
Yeah, but he had Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but I mean, if you win it, you win it. It's the same thing with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, we had Trubisky. They had Trubisky and a rookie that was drafted late without the 4 years of training.
Let me finish.
Let him finish this crap.
The only reason why Mike Tomlinson is in his position that he is because Pittsburgh only had four coaches in their whole history of a franchise. They believe in their coaches. They make sure they have players. You know what I mean?
But he's been winning though.
Your average tendency of being in Pittsburgh is 10 years. 15 years
under 500.
So they're going to give you players.
Super Bowls, coach.
Any type of decision based off of you picking LaFleur from the Packers is contaminated because of he's had Rodgers every season.
Chernobyl.
And he's never missed like a long season for injury. And if he did, I think the one time when Minnesota slammed him on like his collarbone or something and he was out, they didn't do good when he was out. So anything else, you can't say how good he is as a coach. Until now, you about to see it.
Hey,
now.
that's it's his pick. It's not a horrible pick. It's just that he came out here in FGB week and claimed to be a Bears fan and said that he'd have Matt LaFleur
Packers flag in his damn basement
at the helm.
It's his pick.
Biscuit eater.
Yeah, he's got a Packers flag.
I was muted for a second, Debo, but what I'm saying is, it's just like getting reps in preseason. We was just talking about it. How you hard on Justin Fields or whatever. If you're winning, you're winning. I mean, look at Belichick. He's still been kind of a competitive coach without Tom
last
Brady.
season.
Belichick has had under 500 seasons, and Tomlin hasn't.
It's not necessarily
Belichick had Tom Brady.
It's not necessarily
all about the quarterback, man. I mean,
it's not all about winning because you can look at a team and judge that team and say, is this coach getting the most out of these guys based on the talent that they have? And Tomlin
is he maximizing a potential?
He does that.
Now,
They also
Ace,
giving him a
I want to hear
chance, too.
yours as we continue.
The Roonies are also giving him a chance too.
But they
You
have no
understand what I'm
choice.
saying?
He's been successful with them. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not
it's
like
called
he's
the Rooney
done bad
Rule.
with them. It's not like he's been bad
It's
with them.
literally called the Rooney Rule. I don't have no problem with the Roonies.
He's performed with those guys. He's performed.
And
So
the
it'd be
Roonies
hard.
aren't racist.
No,
they
they
gave him
ain't
a
racist.
chance, and he maximized.
not.
And he maximized. But Ace, who's yours as we continue this conversation?
Well, I'm since I couldn't bring in Coach Prime, I'm gonna go with Mike Tomlin as my number one franchise starting head coach, a couple of chips under his belt, consistent record of grooming the franchise, of staying in a winning
NFL
position.
record of finishing above 500.
Absolutely, and I can trust him to keep my franchise going forward, winning every year, filling up the seats, getting good players, getting the maximum potential out of these players. And even with a bum like Mitch Trubisky and probably Nick Foles would have been coming soon if Mitch would have got hurt.
Oh, he would have been good with Nick Foles. What?
Yeah, he probably would have made it to the playoff. I mean,
And you remember he wanted to get rid of Raplesberger when he started all that violent rape. Tomlin didn't want that cancer in his alleged violent sexual assault. Tomlin didn't want that cancer in his locker room.
And about the Roonies, I heard a radio interview with one of the Roonies, and they were talking about how they started from the bottom as a family, learning the family business as football.
Started from the bottom, now we here.
As opposed to the Bears family members being thrust into the roles as president and vice president and all these different positions in the organization. The Roonies, they learned from the bottom and worked their way up to being the owners of the franchise and the positions they held in the franchise. So shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers and their organization, the inception of the Rooney Rule, and Mike Tomlin.
I got news for y'all too. Kenny Pickett, and I believe I was telling y'all last year when, because I watched him through college, and I was like, he's decent. He's not a bum. And from what I seen him in preseason, if he's anything like that in this regular season, hey, the Steelers will probably win that division.
Yes, preseason. But
they
well, actually, last week when we did our predictions, I had the Steelers, I think, on my top. Definitely, they were on my top 7 list that we did last week because I expect a lot out of them. They're going to surprise some teams. To your point, Diesel. All right, next week, if you guys come on the show, I need you guys to prep your division winners. We already did the North Division. But I need you guys to give me a breakdown of how each division is going to finish, and then we'll get our playoff brackets done. Yes. I have a metric that we're going to use too. I'm really keeping track of this stuff now. So just so y'all know, throughout the season, you're going to get 1 point for every team win. All right. So what we're going to do before every week, it'll be like a football pool. And you select, you choose your team. You get 1 point for every regular season win. Now, at the end of that season, you get 5 points for each team that you decide next week is going to make the playoffs. You're going to get an additional 5 points. Then you get an additional 5 points for each team that goes on to make the divisional round. And then you get 10 points for each team to make the conference championship, 10 points for both teams to make it to the Super Bowl, and 5 points for winning the Super Bowl. So these predictions next week are going to be important. I am going to keep track of it so we don't have any nonsense.
What time are you going to have the show? Because if you interrupted NFL Sunday, that's forbidden.
Yeah, man.
No, we're moving. Ace because Ace is doing a Bears party too at his crib. So
we got to come over to your crib, Ace.
Yeah, we'll be in the garage.
That's cool.
All right.
Yeah. So you're gonna have a Packers troll. I remember I had almost banned this guy from watching the Bears. I might want to hear this shit when watching the Bears Packers.
I remember.
Look at Brett Favre, man. Look at Brett Favre. Go ahead.
Coach, I remember I picked you up from South Suburbs and brought you brought you back on Everhard when I was over there on Everhard. And I had some Chicago guys there and was the Bears Packers. He said, you picked me up all the way from south suburbs to come over here for this shit.
Man, sitting around a bunch of Packers fans. If I can't kick their ass, what are they doing here? You know what I'm saying?
That was when they had the A-Train. The A-Train.
Anthony Thomas.
Hey, but Coach was low on he was low on you was low on what was the Bears quarterback? He hurt his knee and was riding a stationary bike down the NFC Championship. You was low on him from the beginning, Coach.
Oh yeah, Cutler. Oh yeah.
He was low on
Good
Cutler.
process.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cutler.
Good process of defense. Still can't.
Well, Diesel's on record. He says Justin Fields get that same look on his face that he's seen off Jay Cuddy when he's out there trying to process.
Yeah.
Either they're gonna give Justin Fields the plays ahead of time, or don't call the player and he got his plays like y'all say him. He step up to the line and make his moves. He can't be sitting out there 20 seconds trying to figure out what set and formations they're gonna come in. And
Well, that's on Getsy. All of these operations is going to be better.
And he can't do anything.
No, I agree with you. Had he been another year in offense like he is now, Coach, he now he don't have to. Once he gets to a certain point, he's going to call a play and go, regardless of what's coming from the sideline. Well, because now, yes, he knows what he's doing out there,
and he's got somebody to throw the damn ball to.
Even your boy that came out of Pittsburgh that Tomlin got rid of, because he didn't fit his
Claypool.
Claypool said now he has a mastery of offense where he don't just know what his route is, he knows what everybody else is doing, because now that helps. He said it's important for him knowing, the whole play so he can know how to break open. That playbook, even Mooney was talking about it. I know y'all say it's the NFL, anybody can do it, but that playbook is intricate, Diesel, Yeah, and so players are starting to absorb it now, where it's second nature, and they don't have. Even the defense was saying it, Ace, that they don't have to think about what their assignments are. We had the youngest team in football last year, us and KC.
Hey, I'm not disputing that them playbooks don't be difficult, but that comes on the coach, man. The coach got to understand if your play. What did they say? What did you hear Mike Singletary say? When Buddy Ryan when they were doing the fourth, he said, Coach, this stuff is too hard. He said, the playbook was like this thick. He said the next day, and he said he knew it took a lot out of Buddy to do it. He came in the next day and the playbook was like this. And he said, from that point forward, we took off. I heard Michael Irvin a couple of days ago talking about the West Coast offense, that Joe Montana was so famous from, Bill Walsh and all of that. He said, when we start running it in Dallas, he said, I never, ever got the playbook. He said, I didn't even know the plays. He said, this is exactly what we would do. We come to the huddle, Troy Aikman would be like, Mike, a deep end.
I remember that. He was on the Booger Sugar. That was something they had to do. Look at this guy.
But he said this did not have to do with his getting high. He said he couldn't learn that playbook. He said, Troy would just tell him, Troy would just tell him what the route was. Hey, Chad Ochocinco, he went to New England. He said,
but he couldn't process. There was a lot of these guys that couldn't process.
He said he couldn't figure out their playbook.
Yeah,
so
he couldn't
my whole
process.
thing is playbooks ain't easy, but that comes up to the coach to adjust it to your playbook.
I agree. Dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's I'm going to cover this one quick, y'all. Disney, y'all been watching ESPN, laying everybody off. FS1 is hiring everybody. But Disney pulled ESPN and ABC off a charter, which you guys may remember was Spectrum. They can't afford it. Spectrum can't afford the $2.1 billion annual payments for the content. They're saying, nobody's watching this crap. Man, is ESPN over?
I mean, they've been dead for years.
Stephen A. Smith still on there, right? Ain't Stephen A. Smith still on ESPN? I hadn't been watching it.
Yeah, he's on ESPN. First Take still the #1 show.
Okay. Well, that's a good show, man. I don't know if ESPN is in for it. As long as they got that going, I think they're gonna be all right.
I don't watch that crap.
You had to stop watching it too. I catch clips on YouTube. All right, y'all. So the science of FGB. This is Bear Down Unpacked. Now, I don't have a booger of the week per se, but I'm just going to go on a 3-minute rant here. I'm going to stop you guys' cameras. This is a new segment, Coach, where we do rants. So, there's been a lot of hubbub about Aaron Rodgers. And Russell Wilson's ain't this, Russell Wilson ain't that. Well, I want to first be clear that I'm not saying I'd take Russell Wilson over Aaron Rodgers. That's not what this rant is about. But what the rant is about is that the difference between Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson may not be as skewed as you guys think. Worst season, Rodgers. This category was won by Russell Wilson, who's had 4 substandard years out of 11 seasons. That's 36% substandard. Rodgers has had 6 substandard. We're talking consistency. 6 substandard by his own, abilities out of 16 seasons. That's 38% substandards. Okay. Completion percentage. Aaron Rodgers, 64.6% career. Russell Wilson, 60.5. Aaron Rodgers we're talking 2022. My bad. This is 2022, not career. Aaron Rodgers had a 91.1 rating, and Russell Wilson had an 84.4 rating. He was in a new offense, wasn't at the same place he had been for hundreds of years. Working the system. Best season. Rodgers has about 3 to choose from. His hi-hats are better than Wilson. We all know. System. Wilson has played for a defensive-minded Pete Carroll, where Aaron Rodgers has been with offensive guys. Rushing stats. That goes to Russell Wilson. I know you guys don't like black quarterbacks because they're athletic. You think they should stand in the pocket like Peterman because they run a 7.6 40, and they shouldn't use their God-given talents that they've developed and cultivated through hard work, as an advantage. They should sit there and process. Well, we know who won the rushing time. Overall record. Let's talk about the stats. Rodgers is 150, 79, and 1. He won 65% of his games. Russell Wilson is 108, 64, and 1. He's won 63% of his games. Was he in a tougher conference? Playoff records and stats. Aaron Rodgers is 12-10, 55% playoff percentage. Russell Wilson is 9-7, 56% playoff percentage. Super Bowl record and stats. Rodgers is 1-0. He's got an MVP, so he's 100%. Russell Wilson, in this age of, get to the chip, doesn't matter if you win. He actually been to 2 chips, lost 1, 50%. Leadership, personality. Smug Rodgers is smug with the media. He blames coaches and teammates for his failures. He misses preseason workouts, trolls Bears fans, and then cuts and runs first chance he gets because he doesn't want to face Justin Fields. Backstabbed in politics, Brett Favre. We don't know what's in Brett Favre's heart. To get the job, backstabbing. Drugs, Mahawuska. He's in caves. He's aloof. Okay. He's a douche. Smug leadership. He leads by example, though, but he's got smug leadership. And he's married to his girlfriend is the NASCAR girl who, in my opinion, looks like a bear. Now, Russell Wilson. Rihanna has his own office. He's kicking it with Rihanna. Married. He's got his own office. He's aloof. He's always on. He's gracious with the media. He answers the questions they give him. He's been a coach guy. You've never heard him say one thing bad about a coach or a teammate, although teammates speak lowly of him. Stellar vocal on-field leader. Seems to be a good motivator when things are going well. Earnings and values, I give that to Aaron Rodgers. I think over the course of Rodgers' career, he owned $305 million. And Russell Wilson has $475.6 million if he plays this contract out. So for the value, I'll give that to Rodgers. Pro Bowl. Rodgers, a 17-year NFL veteran with the Pack. Rodgers is a 10-time Pro Bowler, 63%. Wilson has been named to 9 Pro Bowls and helped lead the Seahawks to 2 consecutive Super Bowls. He's been to the playoffs 82% of his career. All pro. Rodgers, 4 times first team, 1 time second team, Wilson, 1 second team finish. So the all pro goes to the drop dead gorgeous. So that's the end of my rant. I just want to say, you guys can come back whenever you're ready. The reason I did this is because I'm listening to all the Russell Wilson bashing, and I couldn't help but think, if Russell Wilson was
Hey,
pink,
what's going on?
If Russell Wilson was pink, then, you know, I think the conversation would be different. But Dezo, what are your thoughts on my rant there? I went easy.
You gave a lot of statistical facts, some decent opinions. You gotta make sure it's Russell Williams is not.
Wilson.
Wilson is not with Rihanna. He's with Sierra. And
yes.
And Aaron Rodgers is no longer with Danica Patrick. He hasn't been with her for some years.
He's with a model now or something, right?
Yeah, he's with some other chick.
Yeah, supermodel.
Your assessment of when things don't go right, he tends to blame others for Aaron Rodgers as far as his offense and things and coaches or something. Yeah, it seems like he's done that throughout most of his career, not taking a lot of self blame for anything.
Like LeBron. They want to control the narrative.
Yeah, you could actually compare that to him. Russell, for the most part, you don't see him doing that.
Gracious. He's gracious with the media.
Yeah, his only part that I would say is he tends to want to be more Hollywood than what he really is.
I can see that.
Because of his girl or whatever, but maybe that's why he got a girl like that.
I can see that.
More Hollywood than what he naturally is. And then but everything else pretty much that you said was factual. He would have won that Super Bowl if I would have called an audible if they'd have called that play to throw that damn ball on the goal line. You call an audible and run the damn ball. And you can deal with the backlash after the fact.
Exactly.
Hey, that was my call. I made that call.
I said that too. Yeah.
Outside of that, I feel that pretty much the rest of it is spot on. I will say this though, as far as right now, later in both of their careers, Wilson, to me, when I watch him play now, and this is serious talk, he looks, it's hard for me to explain how he looks when he's out there. And I'm talking about even when he doesn't get hit, but he almost looks like a player who's been concussed while he's out there playing now.
Oh, he's got happy feet.
It's something with his movement that isn't the same. And I'm not even talking about when he gets hit or whatever. He looks like he's froze sometimes as far as his movements and everything. So I'd be very concerned about him as far as continuing to play. Rodgers,
Carroll got rid of him.
Rodgers, he ain't that far from that type of stuff. Although he's way more functionable right now than what I see of Russell Wilson. But that was all well stated, bro. And I agree with you. I see a little of that in Justin Fields, and people have to understand it's human nature, man. When nobody's blocking for you, you're going to get rid of the ball, a lot of times. And after he gets more confidence in his line, he should be able to shake that off. That's why a lot of people remember back in the day, they wouldn't run their quarterback out there until their line was good and they had some players who could protect them. They just let them develop. Now, before I throw it to you, Ace, I just wanted to say Russell Wilson's career rating is 100.02. And versus Aaron Rodgers, this is a stat I wanted to give that wasn't that I didn't provide, is 103.6. So I want to be clear. If I had to choose between Rodgers in his prime and Russell Wilson in his prime, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers all day, smug and all. But go ahead, Ace. What's your take on my rant there? I went easy though.
Well, like Dezo said, you were spot on. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a talented quarterback. Both talented quarterbacks. I think Russell benefited more from the system he was in over there in Seattle as far as defensive wise, the opportunities that they got to run the offense out there and run the ball.
Play
and,
action, run the ball, defense.
Yeah, throw short passes. So he got his 2 attempts to win a chip. He won one, and they should have ran the ball for the second one. But hey, people make mistakes. So they're similar careers at this point in their careers. I believe Russell is close to, if not being done. That's why they got him out of Seattle. He wasn't best for their system anymore. And happy feet, fear of not having anybody. Well, he has somebody to throw the ball to, so he just might hear those ghosts.
Man, he had the worst coach in the history of NFL though last season. And you got to throw that out there. That guy got fired after 1 season.
Who's that? Oh, yeah.
Denver's coach.
Yeah, but I mean, he was declining in Seattle. I know that personnel groupings were not as good, but he
had good receivers in Seattle.
Yeah, he had some all-pro receivers, and they just weren't winning. So it might be time to shut them down. But if somebody give you $200 million, it's hard to walk away. So
you don't play that out till you can't walk no more.
Yeah.
Well, Ace, you made a point about Ray, Seattle's quarterback. And, I've always liked him. Don't get me wrong. I remember he's at Minnesota. I was like, the Bears need to get him when he blew his knee out. But I heard somebody say, like, Ray, somebody tell me Seattle's black quarterback's name.
Geno Smith.
Yeah, Geno had only had like 3 starts or something, bro. 2 or 3 starts, before they gave up on him. Mm-hmm. And it sounds similar to this kid that Dallas just picked up. These guys get 2 starts, 3 starts. They have some injuries, and they don't get picked right up like the
Drop Dead Gorgeous,
the Baker Mayfields, and the
So they don't think they can process, so they'd rather work on a Drop Dead Gorgeous project as opposed to these athletic quarterbacks that can eventually learn their offense and give them multidimensional as far as running and passing type of quarterbacks. So
no, that kid is a winner, and he broke some NFL records last year. So I'm gonna tip my hat to him, because Ace was like, you low on him, and when I heard them say that, I was like, Every time I did see him play, he played good in one preseason. He had a couple. I was like, man, this dude was balling, and I wanted him. Then all of a sudden, he got on the scrap heap, and it took Pete Carroll to believe in him. And they didn't even go after a quarterback this year. So I'm interested in seeing what he do. But if you guys got any final on that before we go ahead and get the topic.
No, Geno Smith, man.
Geno Smith,
Yeah, he's over he underachieved, now he's overachieving. And he's actually, and that's kind of weird though that Seattle didn't draft a QB, because you can have Geno Smith starting for the next couple of years
and develop your guy.
And groom your guy. So it's very weird that they didn't draft a QB. And I don't know, like for next year, as far as like wherever they draft, because this is the perfect time now. Because I think, what did they sign him to? 2 or 3 years?
3.
His extension? 3? Yeah, 3 is perfect, man. You draft a young guy who's like, unproven. He'd be a third stringer, but you have to get him.
Well, that's a good point, because Geno's 32 years old. I didn't know he was that old. I thought he was about 28.
Yeah, no, he's been around, and that's why I was like, hey, he's lucky to make it as a career backup as a black quarterback, because they don't usually keep them around.
No, they don't.
Usually be gone.
Yeah.
So, and then he started achieving. When he came in as a backup, he started playing good. So they just like, hey, you know what? Let's just kind of keep him around.
Well, I think Pete Carroll's like me. He doesn't overvalue the quarterback position. I watched my Bears win with Jim McMahon. You know what I'm saying? You just get a good football team. Yeah, you can get a team manager out there.
Hey, Jim McMahon was a good quarterback.
Nick Foles.
He was better. He was better than an average quarterback. He was
an average game manager, but he was a motivator.
Yeah,
he was good. It's just the injuries that he sustained. Just
dead gorgeous, tough as nails.
Took him out.
Processing. Yeah,
I like Jim McMahon. Wasn't scared to call audibles.
Of course,
wasn't scared to
cuss out Roselle and Ditka.
Man, he went up against Ditka on a daily. on a
Pete
daily.
Rozelle, the commissioner, and Dicker, yeah.
Most people can't do that. They be scared Dicker gonna cut them.
Jimmy Mack was a bear.
He's definitely right now, Fields hadn't had enough on the tape yet. But McMahon is definitely the second greatest quarterback all time in my mind for the Bears behind Sid Luckman.
Yeah.
Right now.
Jimmy Mack won a Super Bowl as a backup for the Packers and wore his Bears jersey. So damn it. To the White House. Jimmy Mack is a damn bear.
He's a bear.
Yeah.
Big ups, Jim McMahon, if you're out there, and I hope you're well. I know he was struggling with CTE. All right, let's get on the topic here, y'all. We finally made it. So we're going to talk this rivalry and what it means. I wish we hadn't lost Jimmy. But when and how did your FGB evolve? I'll just give you guys the background. I was watching football younger than most people because I got two older brothers. So I would be watching Peyton and the Bears. So I'll say around 77, I really started understanding what they were doing, what the plays meant, understand the game, 78. And then my brothers would get all, they just didn't like the Packers. And I didn't understand it. And they were explaining to me, it's a rivalry and it's a hatred. So for me, I just did it because that's how everybody was. They hated the Packers. But I saw my man slam Jim McMahon. Once that happened, I was like, oh, I hate these guys. So
Tim Harris.
Yes, way after the play. And he only got fined. Martin. Yeah. He only got fired. He only got fined $15,000 for that, bro.
Yeah, it's horrible.
The league was tough then. It was a bunch of men. Yeah,
mention it. When that son of a gun, son of a biscuit you just slammed,
onto his already injured soldier.
He was never the same after that. Never.
No.
That was dirty football. I mean, and he knew he was slamming them to damn concrete because that's what the Bears were playing on at the time at Soldier Field.
He was coached to do that because he knew that shoulder was already hurt. But go ahead.
Yeah. And for the league to not suspend him or for a year or throw him out of football indefinitely, as they do now, was just a travesty to football and the Chicago Bears organizations because it changed. Like you said, Diesel, Jim McMahon was never the same again after that.
Never.
Fudge Green Bay, Fudge GB. How'd you guys get involved in this rivalry?
I give you mine. So when I started watching football, the NFL on TV. Now, mind you, I was in Cali, so we couldn't see the Bears unless it was a nationally televised game. So, as I'm growing up, my parents always telling me, you from Chicago. I was like, okay. So
what part of Cali was you in, bro?
First in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And then we moved to the Valley before we moved back to here.
All right.
And so when I was little, I used to tell people, I'm from Chicago. But all I would see most of the time, and my dad, he was a Bears fan and a Raiders fan. So I'm watching, all they would usually show on the national TV was Raiders. Sometimes you would get Houston with Earl Campbell in them. And I remember
he's just a hoss. Look at those big thighs. He's just a hoss.
You know how you would watch because it was pretty much NBC, CBS. I don't even think Fox was going back then in the 70s. So I would always see Brian Gumbel doing the telecast for the NFL up until, and then when I came back to Illinois, when they would show the Bears games, I would always hear them say, Bears and the Packers, the oldest rival in the NFL, the oldest rival. Mm-hmm. And so I would always hear that. I was like, oh, this is the oldest rivalry in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is all through the 80s. All through the 80s, up when Neil Armstrong was coaching and stuff. Because, right in that development of how what ended up happening with the 85 Bears, as they were not good, but Peyton was the sticking stone. He was there.
Yeah, I used to think our coach walked on the moon, but go ahead.
So I'm watching that, and then I started, as they would say that, sometimes this is back because I don't watch pre-games at all anymore. I'll turn to the game when it comes on. But I used to watch the pre-game, so then I started hearing about, hey, the Bears and Packers are from the original NFL team. They the ones that started the league. And then they would say how many championships the Packers had, how many the Bears had, and you would have that Lombardi and Papa Bear
Packers were
Hallis.
doormats when Papa Bear Hallis was stumping on people. But go ahead, and then I'm gonna throw it to Ace to give us his background. I know he got to go shortly, but go ahead,
And
bro.
then once that happened, I started like paying attention to whenever they were playing, and throughout all of the '80s, it was just like a huge rivalry, and I understood it more because of that history from when like the league started, and they were all winning the championships, the Bears and the Packers. Between the two of them, I think it's like almost 20 championships, not counting Super Bowls. Not even
Until they
counting
got
Super Bowls.
Lambeau. Who's the coach, Lombardi or Lambeau? One of them, both.
Lombardi.
But one of them
part
on the
of it.
team. Yeah. But until they got, I think it was Lambeau, the Italian dude, he wasn't racist. He was one of the first guys, at Green Bay. So big ups to them. They weren't winning nothing. And then he got in there and we're gonna run it right through the alley, But Ace, where did was it parents? How'd you get involved in this thuggery?
No, I mean my parents really didn't watch football. I got into football because of Walter Payton. Just seeing him on the Jet magazine and Ebony, and and liking football. So I would watch the Bears games. Nobody was a big fan. My parents were, at work, went to the bank on Saturday, and Sunday they were resting.
And the Bears were bums.
Yeah, they stunk. But I knew that guy was a football player, and I steadily watched the Bears. Even Holden, number 65, Noah Jackson. Even though that guy was out there stinking up the field every week, Walter Payton was doing his thing, and I progressively watched them as they got stunk even more until about 83, 84. And
they was dirty with how they should do Peyton in this series. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So, but you had no choice of watching this guy leap over. I don't know why people still don't do that. Leap over the line into the end zone
and land on your head.
Well, not land on your damn head, but turn your body and get the ball over the damn goal line and score touchdowns. They want to run into 1,000 pounds of human mass instead of.
But let me say this though, Peyton was able to do that because he had those thighs. He was running up that hill, so when he was jumping over that thing, a linebacker might meet him, but it didn't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, these guys got different equipment, training equipment, trainers and machines. They got 40, 45-inch verticals. Jump over the damn line and get the damn touchdown. Why are you running it right into the back of your damn lineman and getting stuffed at the goal line? I don't understand it, but my love for Walter Payton got me into the Bears and got me into the FGB rivalry, and it was really cemented with that Martin play where he slammed Jim McMahon to the Soldier Field concrete, and pretty much
Packers fans was cheering too, bro. That was the thing, man. They cheered.
This son of a gun had a list of numbers on his damn towel of players he had a bounty for, and Jim McMahon was at the top of it, and the league allowed him to get away with that crap. Fine. It might have been a lot of money back then, but it still wasn't enough to justify what he did.
And the location, you guys demographically, they're close to each other. Have you guys ever been to Lambeau? That's something I think we ought to do. Put on our Bears jerseys. Hey, we gotta go to Lambeau, man. Represent.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
just like we went to Detroit.
And I puke. Maybe that'll be. Maybe I'll puke in all the stadiums in the division. We gotta get to Minnesota too. That's a dome. Yeah. That in there. I like puking in the dome.
Don't mind.
You can smell it. So you had Papa Bear Hallis. We don't know what was in Papa Bear's heart,
Yeah, we know.
But one thing about him, he was gonna play the best guy. You know what I'm saying?
He believed in football players, whether they were black, green, or orange. He wanted to win.
He wanted to win over the racism. He wanted the W's before the R. So we played in a couple championship games. We had the Ice Bowl. You guys were talking about Charles Martin, defensive end for Green Bay Packers. He body slammed the Bears quarterback, Jim McMahon. That was on November 23rd, 1986. It was in Soldier Field. McMahon had thrown an interception. Martin came up behind him, picked him up, and body slammed him to the ground. McMahon suffered a shoulder injury on the play and was unable to return to the game. He was ejected. I was wrong. He was only He was only fined $1,500, Ace, not $15,000.
Wow.
He was also suspended for.
That cost us another Super Bowl.
Yes. Yeah, he was also suspended for 2 games, but the suspension was later overturned by an arbitrator.
Somebody from Wisconsin.
Yep. They said it was retaliation as Martin had been upset with McMahon for taunting him earlier in the game. The body slam also injured McMahon, who was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL at the time. We had the 1985 NFC Championship game. Did we beat the Packers in the NFC Championship game when we went to the Super Bowl?
No, they didn't make it to the playoffs. Hell no.
We beat the Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah, I don't know what this is talking about. That was 2010 when we played them in the championship game, right? And we lost 21-14.
Yeah, Cutler was the quarterback. Yeah.
And that's when Aaron got his first and only Super Bowl victory.
Yeah, we should have won. It was a home game. We stunk up the field and lost.
So some notable players. I'm not going to read the thing, but Red Grange, none of us saw him play. Bronco Nagurski, Vince Lombardi from the Packers, Bart Starr from the Packers. Ace mentioned Walter Payton, one of the greatest running back in NFL history, rushed over 16,000 yards, 97 touchdowns. Brent Favre, the thief, allegedly.
Scumbag.
The Packers quarterback led the team to 2 Super Bowls and was one of the most prolific passers in history, NFL history. And Aaron Rodgers, Smug, the current, former quarterback. Yeah, one of the best quarterbacks in history. So I think we predicted this game. But if y'all can give us a background, Ace, I know you're having a thing in the garage. Diesel, you ought to go hang out. But just tell us what Bears Packers mean to you guys, and then we can close it out. And if you got any shots you want to take at Packers or Packers fans, now's the time to do it in a public forum. Fudge GB.
FGB. It's been a lot of years. The Packers have held 2 Hall of Fame, they say, quarterbacks. And they've only been able to win 2 Super Bowls since the Bears have won 1. With the long list of bums we've been running out there at the quarterback position. So it's time for Chicago to take back the North and never give it back. We should have won in 2016? When they kept giving Sexy Rexy the damn ball and letting him do whatever the hell he wanted to do. We should have been running the ball up right down the damn coach's throat for the Super Bowl victory. But
what's his name? Thomas? Was that our running back? He was balling that game.
Oh yeah, they couldn't stop him, but they rather had a guy run out there and just throw as many interceptions as he could to the Indianapolis Colts. So, but back to the topic of FGB. It's time for us, as Chicago Bears fans, to take back the North and never give it back. The Packers are going to go to the bottom of the division. They've won the last few years because of Smug Rodgers. Without Smug Rodgers, if they have any sort of injury, this Matt LaFleur, Jimbo, will not be able to work his way out of it. So it's time for the Bears. So get ready. I'm predicting playoffs this year, Super Bowl next season. So get ready as Bears fans to celebrate New Orleans next season as the Bears make their way to the Super Bowl back in the city of New Orleans for the victory. Go Bears.
All right, those are great final words. And I'm gonna throw it to Diesel. I tell y'all one thing. This rivalry, so y'all can get an understanding. And Diesel, we want to get your final words. This is the only rivalry in sports where I'm not gonna say I'd be happy. I'm not gonna say I'd prefer the Bears to go 2-15 and 2-0 against the Pack. But if we did go 2-15 and won the Pack game, both games, I could derive some satisfaction out of that season.
Yeah, so it's, this rivalry, it's pretty much like, if you're gonna have a bad season, you want to beat Green Bay, and it ain't that bad, even if you have a bad season. So beating the Packers is huge. And they give them the first game out the season.
And the last game. A lot of gambling between these two cities too.
Yeah, a lot of gambling. And something that we haven't mentioned throughout the whole cast is this, and again, we know it's unfair towards Black folks pretty much throughout the whole country, but there's a specific type of racial overtone. I ain't gonna say undertone. There's an overtone in Wisconsin, especially up there around Green Bay. I mean, look at it, and we haven't mentioned this. Remember what they did to their own running back? They were having like a soccer game there, celebrating it, and he was getting the crowd pumped up, and the police started harassing him.
Yeah, yes.
Tried to kick him out of the stadium, like they're gonna arrest him or something. So
a lot of smug out there.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, it's a big satisfaction to beat Green Bay. Hopefully we can do it. I don't, without trying to go too hard on the Bears, the defense we run is I don't like it. It's not intimidating at all. If you run a 4-3, quiet as it's kept, the 46 was based on a 4-3. It was not a 3-4 defense. It's just how you lined up.
Absolutely.
Your backers and that safety come down.
You brought that safety down in the box.
Yeah, so they need to I'm hoping for the best. But definitely you want to beat the Packers. If you lose to the Packers this first game and they got this backup who they're primed to get their tail whooped. They're primed to get their tail whooped. So we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully they can do it. And again, even if we have a bad season, man, beating Green Bay is huge because the fans tend to not go super hard on the organization if you could beat Green Bay, because then they always feel that the pathway to the division is through them. So that being said, beat them. Although this year I do kind of think the Lions make it kind of want to beat them.
Absolutely. We always want to beat the Lions. Yes.
As a measuring stick, we probably would rather beat them, but this is huge for the division going forward. So hopefully we can do it. We can crack some heads. Hopefully Phil shows me something that he ain't showed me yet, and we can go from there. Because if he performs and does based off of the talent that he has, it just opens up the organization even better, because we don't have to worry about getting another quarterback and things of that nature. We can pick up a D lineman like we need. It just makes everything easier going forward. So hopefully we can take them out. We got to get this first game. Is this at home? We got to get this first game. Got to. That's all I got.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, well said. Well said. So that was great, guys. And I know guys got to run out of here. I got my final closeout with big ups to the sponsors.
97.1 FM. Weekends in the morning with Weenie in the butt. WQHG 97.1. 97.1. 97.1. Weenie in the butt. In the morning, cool weekends. FM.
All right. In the weekends. So in the weekends. That's all for today's episode of Mouthpiece Included. In conclusion, the Bears Fudge Packer rivalry is one of the most storied and heated rivalries in all sports, if not the most. These two teams have been playing one another since 21, and the rivalry has only gotten stronger over the years. The rivalry has been known for its physical play and intense competition. It's one of the most unique and special rivalries. It's built on history, tradition, intensity, and passion. The games between these two teams are always exciting and unpredictable, and it's sure to continue to be one of the most talked about rivalries in the league for many years to come. FGB, bear the F down. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, like, and share on your favorite platform out there. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please feel free to drop a comment below, and don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. Until next time, keep shining. Ace, we got to come across the next schedule, but our next topic, we're going to do our division winners, but black billiards. Black billiards. Is it a sport or just a nickel slick hustle? That's what we're going to unpack on Mouthpiece Included. Tuesday on the Self-Love Show. Are you prepared for calamity out there? Natural disaster, calamity versus war as a result of war. You know, maybe there's a supply line shortage. Are you ready? Maybe there's a big virus or something. Are you prepared to survive on your own out there, you and your family? That's going to be Tuesday at 6 p.m. live on TATN. So, that all being said, all right. So if you find yourself dipping through the south side of Chi, you might be on the west side, on Laramie, flying down Cicero. Maybe you're on the left coast out there, Compton, Long Beach, Inglewood. Better keep your head on a swivel. Check your blind spot. Watch your back. Check your six.
Mouthpiece included. TATN. Better guard your grill.
Guard your grill. Knuckle up. Wise guy, huh? FGB, huh? Bear down.
Mouthpiece Included.
And don't forget to Black Billiards next week, Ace. And don't forget to
Don't forget it, baby.
And don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. Bear down.
Bear down. FGB.
Yeah.
Mouthpiece.
GV.